You get a haircut or something. All right. So I wanted to discuss Might and Magic. So these games, I'm not really going to go over the Might and Magic game, meaning showing it, but per se, I mean, I can do it, run it on DOS box, at least for Might and Magic 2 anyway. But I just want to show off that I had the original games of it. This is Might and Magic, it's book 1, and then this one was Might and Magic 2. I still have them, the originals, from way back when, 1980s. Yeah, I used to play these games. My brother and I used to play these games on the computer game. But yeah, I got the book, the actual original book, and I really enjoyed the artwork they used to do in the books back then. It's not like nowadays, especially nowadays. Most is on a computer. It's a very basic manual, and even if they don't have a manual, they just have it integrated into the game itself to make it simpler for people. But yeah, I know this isn't simpler for people, but it just, I liked it because not just the details of the book, but also the fact that all the artwork and the effort that they put into it back then. Like that original, they had this artwork, and it's kind of like, the Dungeons and Dragons game where they, in the books, they had all the artwork. Well, they used to have these manuals, and they used to teach you how to make maps. Not like now where you have the radar on the bottom, which is useful. It does make it simpler. But I actually enjoyed getting out graph paper and drawing and making those maps myself. I loved it. It was fun. I know it takes a little extra work. An effort. It's not so simple, but it was fun to do regardless, because then I feel like I accomplished something making those maps myself. And they had the original map of the game right here. The artwork, I don't know if it's that easy to figure out the areas using that map, but it gives you a general idea. Because when they had the games, they had these this thing right here where they have the it was it was 2-dimensional, but that was the best they could do to make it seem like it was 3-dimensional, and moving around the area. It's kind of like Bard's Tale, So I'm going to show you some stuff, very rare, you wouldn't see anymore. These things. This is what we used. Floppy disks. These type of disks. It wasn't. And people would already be familiar with this from 1990s and early 2000. We still had these around, so you'd already probably recognize that. But these are rare. 1980s. And then this was Lode Runner. This is the original Lode Runner disc. I still have it. Yes, I do. Can't really utilize it. I did get a disk drive that could operate it, but I never bothered to connect that disk drive or get it working. Plus, you have to have a computer that's compatible with it as well. If you don't, then you're not going to be able to use that disk drive. I don't know where I put the disk drive. I don't know what I did with it. I can always get another one, I guess. This is Might Magic 2 that I transferred onto this way back when. This I could probably get working if I had a disk drive for this type of floppy disk. They had 2 types of disks. So I know this is pretty much just historical information. But this is what we did. It came with this type of thing to get people used to drawing maps on graph paper. And, you draw your walls and have your little doors and stuff like that. You know, kind of like that. You know, in order to be able to know your areas better. No radars. They didn't have no radars and stuff. You had to earn winning the game. You know, there was no easy way. You earned it. You feel like you accomplished something when you win the game because you did put all this work into it. That's what I like. Nowadays, it just doesn't feel as. I mean, you're putting work into it, but it's not the same type of work. It's more of constantly fighting a monster over and over again to find some items, and then for ingredients. I'm talking about the current games they have, like Guild Wars 2 and stuff like that, to build your weapons and then trade them and all. It's totally different. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I enjoyed playing Guild Wars 2, mostly solo, but it's just not the same as like the games back then. You know, it's not the same concept. It's just too simple. It's hard work because you're spending hours and hours on stuff trying to get where you're at, but it's the older games. It's a different type of hard work, you know. It's like you make the map instead of the computer doing the work for you. You know, it's like you're part of the game. You feel like the adventurer because you're making the map yourself on paper in real life. Like you're part of the game. Like you are the adventurer now. But if you're if the computer's doing all the work, you're not really feeling part of the game. Not really. You're just playing a game with a bunch of characters that do work for you, and I don't know. It's got good stories, the games they have nowadays. Some of them do have good stories. Guild Wars 2, I think, had really good stories, in my opinion. But that's just me. Is the microphone working? Okay, good. Alright, so the other thing was Might Magic 2. So, I'd have the book for that too. You know, see, I mean, look at this artwork. Look at that artwork. Beautiful. That's good artwork. I like the artwork that they did, you know, in these books. It's wonderful. And then they have where they're making the map. You know, if somebody's making a map, and then you have it's getting a little old now because it's ancient now. It's torn, but but I still have it though. This is the map for the game itself. And all this stuff, and then they have this one was a little bit bigger. The second one, they had 3 discs, 3 of them. There were 3 floppy disks, which I managed to get onto this little disc at one point, or somebody did. It might have been me or my brother. One of us did it. Put it on the disc on here. Yeah, I still have it. It's memories. Very fond memories of this stuff, you know. IBM Tandy compatible, 3.5-inch disc, 5 1/4 disc. Yep. CGA, EGA, and MCGA. Fun. Look at the back. See that? That was the colors they had for those games. I know they weren't fancy colored, popping out, but it was still fun regardless. I enjoyed it. Barzell Construction Set, that was another good one. I have that too. That was another fun one. All these games in here. But Might Magic, where was that at? Might Magic 2. Gates to Another World. See this right here. I have the game in which I would run through DOSBox. Pretty simple. Some games you have to patch up. The hardest one for me to patch up was Quest Warrior 5. That was a pain in the butt. And I didn't do it on this one. I did it on when I had the Windows XP. I did some patches, and then I tried to run it on Windows 7, and it kind of worked, but then I had to do even more patches on the Windows 7. And then I just don't reinstall it ever again. I just transfer the files from patch from XP and 7 in order to get it functioning on Windows 10 for Quest Warrior 5. So it works on Quest Warrior 5. The Quest Warrior 5 works on my Windows 10. It's just all these patches I added to it to get it functioning properly, or at least mostly properly. And 1 through 4, I had to add some patches, manual patches on. I didn't use a GOG. I didn't get it through GOG. I have the originals games. I just added patches myself to the game to get them functioning. Alright, so yeah, functioning for Windows 7 and above. Let's put it that way. And then there's Deluxe Paint. That was a hard one for me to hunt that one down. Deluxe Paint 2 and 2E for a Barstow construction set, so I can make my own pictures for it. I don't know. Alright, so that's enough of this. That's enough. Enough of the memories of good old days. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click the like button down below. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel, DMJack92 Gaming, to enjoy more videos from me. I hope to see you guys on the next video. So, for those subscribed to my channel already, because I do have people subscribe to it, I'll see you guys later. See you next time.